best in life. To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
All right. It's Friday night. Is it Friday already? Can it be Friday? That's crazy. It's Friday night. That means it's Radio Baloney Live on Friday night. I'm your host, Richie Baloney. So what's going on? Rosie, how you doing? Steve, how you doing? HRC, how you doing? Who got the first like? Who got the first like? Everybody knows that the first like on these live streams. Now, we're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, and Locals all at once. The first like on each one of those gets double good karma. That's right, double good karma. Now, everybody knows that when you subscribe to the channel or you like the stream, you get good karma. You get one dose of good karma. I build it up. I build up this reservoir of good karma. I can't keep it. That'd be bad karma. So I give it away. All you got to do is press like, and you get that good karma. Of course you do. And who doesn't want that in these troubled times? Have you taken a look at the world? It's crazy. Get that good karma now. You're not an ingrate, right? Okay. So there we go. So what's happening now? We got Hot Retarded Chicks in the chat, which is, he's been with my channel since almost the beginning. And I still find it the funniest name on the internet. I've never seen one it's so kind of sublimely juvenile. I just find it perfect. Anyway, it's good to see you. And also the initials would be HRC, which everybody knows would be Hillary Rodham Clinton as well. So just to be clear, and I don't think that's Hillary. I don't think it's Hillary in disguise. But just to be clear, I have no information that would lead to the arrest of Hillary Rodham Clinton. Just to be clear. Anyway, Steve says, first time I started from the beginning. Well, good. This is perfect. This is a new start for you. You're doing it right. Rosie says, hey, Richie, how you doing, Rosie? Hope you are well. Are you packed? I am not packed yet. So that brings me to this point. We're not going to be doing like 4 hours tonight. We're going to do probably a couple of hours, somewhere around there. Because I still got I got a lot of stuff to do. I got to make sandwiches and pack them up. I'm going on a road trip. Right? I got to figure out what snacks to put in, like the little sandwich bags and stuff to put in my cooler. It's crazy. I still got to pack. It's nuts. I did mow the lawn though today before I started the stream. I really did very little preparation for this stream as well, just because I got so much to do before I leave tomorrow. And I will be gone until the 30th. So I will take my mobile studio with me, and I will try to do a live stream while I'm away. I don't know if I'll be successful in that. I usually manage to put out like some clips or something while I'm away. We'll just have to see. But I didn't want to mow the lawn, but I was looking at it and I thought it's going to be 10 days. And I thought, you know what? I could leave it, but then the neighbors might get mad in my community. So I thought, well, I'm civilized. I'm a civilized man. I should just do it. It won't take that long. So I did it, and resented everybody around me and the whole world a great deal after that because I didn't enjoy it, but it's done. What's going on? Dramus, how you doing? Good to see you. All right. Rosie says, I think I was first like, well, that's double good karma for you. Good work. Izzy, how you doing? Let's see. Rosie says, you're behind by one whole chocolate, 2 energies on Tuesday, only 1 chocolate. All right. Here we go. So when I play the they, them energy, we have to show chocolates afterwards. It's just a thing. You have to be part of the channel to understand. Some inside baseball here. But we had some tough negotiations because I like to play a they, them energy video, which I find hilarious, but which irritates some people. Let's see. What do we got here for you? Hold on. Look at that. Jeez. Now I'm glad we're doing this. Look at that. Whoa, there's some nice chocolate there. There we go. So there we go. I've satisfied my contractual obligations to the chat. And let's go back here. All right. Let's see. All right, everybody. So let's go over the menu here. What are we talking about tonight? So Lizzo discovered Ozempic, and she's lost some weight. But after she discovered Ozempic, she decided to kind of redefine the whole body positivity thing. It doesn't mean what it meant before she discovered Ozempic. It's a different thing now. I find it really hilarious. We'll talk about that. Of course, we've got some memes. We're going to talk about Droopy the dog. Or is it Deputy Dog? I don't know. I just want to be a communist. He's so sad. Anyway, we've got, I don't know, crazy stuff. Some letter to the FBI where the Minnesota lunatic who assassinated a Minnesota lawmaker and injured some other people as well, is saying that Governor Tim Walz instructed him to kill U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar. It's weird. I personally believe every word of it. I just want to be a communist. What a loser that guy is. We've got some Mark Carney embarrassing himself. What have we got? We got some stuff on crazy, gender woo-woo, Jay-Z, crazy, gender gibberish. We got some Canada being stupid. I've got some stuff here because I think Spambot sent me a thing about mRNA jabs in livestock. And where the heck was it? It's in here somewhere. Anyway, I thought I'd take a little bit. There was a community note on it, and I thought, well, I read the community note a little closer, and I thought we'd take a look. And I looked at a paper here, and I think you'll be very interested to see what's in there. So you can't always just, the community notes, you kind of have to dig in sometimes. All right, then we got a bunch of stuff. We got a guy who wants to marry his phone because he fell in love with the AI or something. I don't know. We're going to take a look at that. Really stupid, weird stuff. Can people, is this stuff even serious when you hear this? I mean, is it just getting attention? I don't know. And that's it. So that's what we're doing tonight. A bunch of crazy stuff, and it'll be fun. And everyone's going to have a great time and tell their friends about it. And if you didn't have the will to live, you will after this, especially with all of that good karma that you get by liking the stream. By liking the stream, you get the good karma. Everybody's happy. As he says, feeling like I need some energy, though. Maybe a coffee ad. Well, coffee ad will be coming, but that's the only kind of energy we can't do. We had the tough negotiations. We can't do the they them energy clip on Fridays. We can only do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Oh, wait a second. Hold on a second. Spambot was away from June 14th to July 6th. Ooh, so we can do it anytime. We can do it. Do you need energy? Do you need some energy right now? Let's get to the chat first. Rosie says, nice chocolate. You are caught up and forgiven. Well, just wait. Izzy says, I think I gained a couple of pounds just looking at that chocolate. Yep, I know. If I ate that, it would go straight to my fat. Let's see. Major chocolate deficit lately from Izzy. Yikes. Love the fluid dynamics in this video. I know that's why I play it, obviously. Yo, Holo, how you doing? Her boobs are shaking around. They are. That's why they made the ride. It's for this. That's the whole purpose of the ride. All right. Blah, 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 blah. So what are we doing? I don't know. I could use a bit of energy myself, though. I got to be honest. I mean, who was asking for the energy? That was Izzy. I don't know. The thing is that I've tried so hard to get the energy that I need for this show. I mean, I had an espresso before. I had a coffee. I had like an iced coffee. Then I smoked some crack, and then I smoked some crystal meth. And that still didn't do it. So I chewed on a human adrenaline gland for a while that I got. And then still nothing. Not enough. So I don't even know what I could do. I don't know where I could find the kind of energy.
They them energy.
teapot. Now I've got it. Now I've got that energy. Now I've got that energy. Now I feel good. All right. That means I've got to get more chocolate for Rosie. Look at that with a little sprig of mint on it. Ooh, that's nice. I bet you Rosie's really happy about this one. Look at that delicious chocolate. Rosie, look at that. So one they them energy, one chocolate, the two cancel each other out. So now we're even and the universe is balanced again. All right. So shall we just get to it? Shall we just get to the news? Oh, hold on one second. Let's see. Izzy says, want to know where one gets a human adrenaline gland to chew on? It's my own. Let's see. All right. So that's it. Let's just get started, shall we? All right, here we go. So Lizzo discovered Ozempic. Lizzo says ditching vegan diet for beef helped her lose weight. I think it was also maybe a little bit of the Ozempic as well, maybe just a little bit. The Plus singer admitted to using GLP-1 drugs to lose weight after originally denying it. Now, I will say, look, she's lost a bunch of weight. She looks like a different person there. So good for her. Good for her. I just find the whole thing kind of funny, though, because for one thing, obviously it's Ozempic, right? And also she's decided to kind of redefine what body positivity means now that she's discovered Ozempic and lost some weight. So it's also predictable, isn't it? Lizzo is opening up about her recent weight loss, admitting she did use a GLP-1 drug like Ozempic, but ultimately claims she dropped the weight due to major dietary changes. I've tried everything, the 37-year-old singer said during a conversation on the Just Trish podcast. It's just the science. For me, calories in versus calories out. Ozempic works because you eat less food. So she says, I've tried everything. She tried everything except eating less food. And now she's trying that, and it's working. And, I mean, come on. She said she didn't take Ozempic, then she did, and now she's saying she's not, but she's not really saying that either. So she's obviously taking that, and fine. I don't care. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it makes you blind or something, I heard, whatever. But, I mean, that's her business. It makes you feel full. So if you can just do that on your own and get mind over matter, it's the same. So let's take a look at this here. So she's clearly lost a bunch of weight, right? And good for her. Good for her. I don't know what this black women were right. Right about what exactly? Ozempic? They're right about Ozempic? I don't know. I mean, they need to study that for longer. Every time Lizzo used her platform to preach body positivity, she was always saying that you're perfect the way you are. As long as you declare yourself to be beautiful, you're beautiful. And if people disagree with you, that's because they're haters and racists or something. So, but then she discovered Ozempic. So, yeah, she's clearly lost. I mean, that is not her now. So there's before, right? So she's clearly lost a lot of weight. I mean, I don't know if it's all Ozempic. It seems like there's a lot of videos of her working out and stuff, and that's all good, right? Yeah, big girl. But let's hear what she has to say here. The singer was known to her fans as being a champion of the body positivity movement, which has led some fans having a negative reaction to her massive weight loss. She had originally denied using Ozempic and said her noticeable body change was due to a calorie deficit. So again, she had tried everything, literally everything, except eating less. Oh, which is great, which is really great. Why would her fans be upset? Well, because she was lying to them for a long time and telling them that if they just pretended that they were beautiful and that everybody would see them that way, then they were. And anybody who said no was just, I don't know, denying something or internalizing something, or they're racist or something. Ah, caffeine. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. There was something I want to show you in here. Oh, yeah, she was also a vegan. So what it did for me was actually it was not being vegan, Lizzo said. Because when I was a vegan, I was consuming a lot of fake meats. I was eating a lot of bread. I was eating a lot of rice, and I had to eat a lot of it to stay full. But really, I was consuming like 3,000 to 5,000 calories a day. Also, too, you just feel better eating meat. You just do. I mean, it just, our bodies are built for it. So for me, when I actually started eating whole foods and eating like beef and chicken and fish, I was actually full and not expanding my stomach by putting a lot of like fake things in there that wasn't actually filling me up. And also, I started taking massive amounts of Ozempic, and that really helped me. Once I started working out for my mental health, she did start working out. Good for her for that. To have balanced mental health or endorphins, so I didn't look at myself in the mirror and feel ashamed of myself and feel disgusted with myself. Exercise has helped me shift my mind, not my body. Yeah, but it's why you obviously obviously you're trying to lose weight for a reason. My body is going to change. Everybody's bodies change. That's life. But before she was telling us, when she was a body positivity person, that she would that she had absolutely no problems with herself and she was a queen and blah blah blah. But now we're hearing that actually she did kind of feel disgusted with herself. So it wasn't just us. It was her as well. So, but it's just it's all just so obvious that the whole body positive it's all just so obvious that the whole body positivity thing was always just a sham from the beginning. It was just a crutch. It was just a way for people like Lizzo to lie to themselves and to lie to other people and then gain fans, I guess, because you're telling them sweet little lies that ultimately are lies, right? But it gives them something, gives them some false hope or something. The whole thing is that just a fraud all the way around. And it's so transparently so because all of a sudden, uh, she looks like that now. I mean, she looks like a different person, and it sounds like she's quite happy about it. So is she like, I don't know, what would you say, 30% less body positive now? 40%? 25% less body less body. Jesus, I can't talk anymore. Hold on. Caffeine. Would you say 40% less body positive? 25% less body positive? 20%? I don't know. Lizzo says ditching vegan diet for beef helped her lose weight. Also Ozempic. And what was all that body positivity stuff about all along anyway? You should feel ashamed of yourself. You should feel ashamed of yourself for lying to your fans for so long because you know what? It wasn't good for them. All right, let's move on. Let's take a look at a couple of memes. Meanwhile, somewhere in dimwit Democrat airspace, 3.5 more years. No! Ree! Oh, dear. Troubling, troubling, troubling. What's this? Guess how many bombs I'm sending your way? How many? A lot of them. That's terrible. That's tasteless. I'm not cheerleading in this, by the way. It's just a meme. Just a meme, people. A lot of them. Yikes. That's scary. 50 cosmetic surgeries to look like Angelina Jolie. Nailed it. Nailed it. That's good meme. That's some good meme right there. That's some nice meme. Is that real? Is that like a real person? Is that AI? What the heck is that? Is it like from a movie or something? I don't know. What's this one? Elon killed my senator's money laundering operation. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. The Doge, dastardly Doge. Let's see. Woke up this morning. Still no king. You did it, libs. We saw this one last time. I don't have many memes this time around, but they did it. Trump isn't a king. So, yeah, congratulations. Let's see. Let's go back to the chat for a second. What's going on? Actually, hold on. Better get one of these in. What are we, 23 minutes in? Crazy town. What's going on here? Still haven't tried 1775 coffee? Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped. Only 1,000 units. 1,000 units. That's really exclusive. You're getting the bold, dark roast that hits harder than a CNN fact check. I still don't get that line. The smooth medium roast and the vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus. No crash, no commies. All single origin, small batch, toxin free, and mold free. Mold is gross. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. A frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's political opinions. I bet you those are terrible. And a black 1775 tumbler that says, I don't take life advice or caffeine from a woke sea witch. She was probably at those No Kings protests, I bet. $170 worth of coffee and gear. Yours for, I can't believe I'm telling you this, only $99, folks. That's less than $100. This is the one. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio. That's 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. There's only 1,000 people. I've warned you. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something, just like Rumble does. What would that be? Free speech, of course. It's the most important right that you have. Start your day with coffee that actually backs what you believe. And every time that you get 1775 coffee, a commie cries. You want to make those commies cry, right? Well, now you know how. Let's see. Let's get back to the chat here. What's going on? Great chocolate again, Rosie says. I know. Let's see. Rosie says 10 out of 10. I guess that was for the chocolate. Let's see. Carbs are addictive and mostly empty. That's true. I have too many of them. As he says, wow, good for her, really? Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's good. It's good that she's getting herself into shape. She's setting a better example now. But the point of it is, it just puts the lie to all of the body positivity bullshit. Right? It's just a crutch. That's all it is. That's all it ever was. It's just a crutch. It's just sweet little lies to tell yourself so that you can be lazy, so that you can just not do it, so you can avoid doing something that's difficult, right? And sure, she's on the Ozempic, but she's working out as well. So good for her. She's doing something about it. I mean, she might go blind or something from the Ozempic. I don't know. It's not my problem. But all I'm saying is, the real story in this story, because it's not really a story, is it? Just Lizzo losing weight, who cares? The real story around this is really just seeing how transparent the lie around body positivity, like every single ridiculous radical leftist abstraction that we're forced to endure. The real story here is that it's all just fake. It's not real. It's just little lies that people, or big lies that people can tell themselves to avoid actually doing anything. And now that she's actually doing something, all of a sudden body positivity means something else. Unless she just simply lost, like, I don't know, 40% of her body positivity. What are you guys talking about? Let's see. Rosie says, today is ice cream soda day. That sounds like a good day. We'll start tomorrow. Danny, how you doing? Good to see you. Rosie says, 5,000 calories in a day is a lot. And I was wondering how she managed to keep the weight on doing those, because she's very energetic in her performances, but that's how. She was just stuffing her face, stuffing her big fat face all day long, every day. What can you do about it? Let's see. Izzy says, yeah, I think 1,800 is daily for a man. Yeah, I believe it's like 15 to 1,800, something like that. Let's see. Rosie says 3.5 more years. As he says, oh, perfect coffee ad, just what I needed. With Kami Hate, yes, with Kami Hate, only thing that could make this better is some coffee flavored ice cream. Actually, that's not a terrible idea right there. Izzy gave me a 1776 out of 10 for that ad read. I do believe that's the most out of 10 you can get. Rosie says, Kami Hate, caffeine, coffee, growls, 10 out of 10. As he says, crying commies, that deserves another 100 plus. Yep, exactly. Rosie says 1876 out of 10. Let's see. Nevada says now she's body negative. Well, I guess that's the thing, right? So now she's lost her body positivity and now she's body negative. So I guess it correlates with body mass, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, let's just forget about Lizzo now. We're done with that. We wasted enough time on her. All right. What do we got next? All right, let's go to Droopy the dog here. Or is it Deputy Dog? I can't remember. I just want to be a communist. He is pathetic. I want to show you something. Before we get started on this story, I want to show you something. One of the most pathetic things that I've ever seen, actually, from any politician. Just gross. Just totally 100% gross commie nonsense. Okay. I'm going to find. I've shown this to you guys before, but not for a while. All right. Let's see if we can find it here. Should be able to find it fairly easily. Where is it? Hold on. Let's see. Where is it? Where is that gross video? Tim Walz. What's this here? Oh, there he is doing something weird. He's incapable of not coming across like an awful commie douche. Tim Walz's first stop after recording the CNN sit down with Kamala Harris, milkshakes, a cookout. Okay, so let's just say, I guarantee he comes off douchey in this.
All right, I'm going to have Governor.
We did get you got that. Definitely.
So this is my first visit to Cookout. Governor Cooper showed this place to go.
Nice to go. So what do you got there, Governor?
I got a mint chocolate chip.
I got a mint chocolate chip. He can't even say mint chocolate chip like a normal man, for God's sakes. It's grotesque. What was this one? No, that's not it. Why are we not seeing this? Damn it. Normally the stuff comes up pretty quick. This is it here. Oh, so grotesque, so disgusting. From the Blaze, this is bizarre. Well, I have white guy tacos. White guy tacos. He's talking about because he's a white guy. He's just a lame white guy, and I don't like the spicy food. I like, what is he, like melon? It's so gross.
Like I have white guy tacos and
what is
like
that?
black,
like mayonnaise and tuna? What are you doing?
pretty much.
What is that, like mayonnaise and tuna with me?
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
So the point of this, which I guess was supposed to appeal to the Democrat voting base, was like a ritual humiliation of Tim Walz for just being a lame white guy who doesn't like spicy food because white people don't like spicy food. And then she's saying, well, what do you like? Like tuna and mayonnaise because you're so pathetic. White men, right? Am I right? Just so gross.
Ground beef and cheese.
That's
and,
okay. Do you put any flavor in it?
No.
Oh.
Oh no, I don't put the flavor in it. Brr. Just, it's just the grossest thing. Wow, how did these guys not win the election? How come the Democrat Party doesn't appeal to young men, huh?
Here's the deal. No, they said to be careful and let her know this, that black pepper is the top of the spice level in Minnesota, you know?
I'm the first.
I can guarantee you that black pepper is not the top of the spice level for, of course, he's talking about white people in Minnesota. Like, white people also like spicy food, right? Like, it's this weird stereotype that he's pushing. How does this guy get elected? Why would any white person vote for this guy? Like, he's gross. He's gross and pandering. It's disgusting. He's just insulting the state.
First vice president, I believe, who has ever grown chili peppers.
I'm trying to expand my food knowledge.
You know, we've got some cantaloupes. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm trying to expand my food knowledge because I'm just a lame white communist. Brr. It's fucking pathetic. It's one of the grossest things I've ever seen. It's one of the grossest, most woke panderings I've ever seen any politician do. Just gross. There he is. Brr, I just want to be a communist. So what's the story? That's the story. I want to believe it's true. It says here, disclosed TV just in and a letter to the FBI. Vance Belter claimed Governor Tim Walz instructed him to kill U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar so that Walz could run for the U.S. Senate. From the Minnesota Star Tribune. It's an actual article from the Minnesota Star Tribune, which is, I believe, a large circulation newspaper. Letter to FBI from shooting suspect made wild claims about Klobuchar and Walz, sources say. People with direct knowledge of a letter Vance Belter addressed to the FBI say it is rambling and conspiratorial. And maybe totally true. I don't know. In a rambling, conspiratorial letter addressed to the FBI, alleged assassin Vance Belter claimed Governor Tim Walz instructed him to kill U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar so that Walz could run for the U.S. Senate, according to two people familiar with the contents of the letter. Now, what do you guys think? Is Tim Walz a dirty, filthy commie? Yes, of course he is. Is that the sort of thing that a dirty, filthy commie would do? 100%. The letter is the clearest evidence yet of Belter's mindset after the targeted violence against Minnesota politicians last week. It is incoherent, 1.5 pages long, confusing, and hard to read, according to two people familiar with the letter's contents. It includes Belter alleging he had been trained by the U.S. military off the books, and that Walz, who was not running for Senate, had asked him to kill Klobuchar and others. This is good enough for me. I just believe it. I don't care if it's totally not true. I just believe it. I just want to believe it. I just want to believe that, where is he again? Where is he again? I just want to believe that white people don't like spicy food. I'm a communist. I don't care that it's obviously not true. I just believe it. I'm deciding, I'm making a choice right now. I believe it. He's guilty. Now, again, you might say, well, that's not really evidence of anything. It's just a crazy person. But maybe it is. I mean, is it a non-zero chance that it's true? I would say so. I would say it's a non-zero chance. It could be true. It could be true. Weirder things would have happened. But I don't care how unlikely it is. I don't care. I just want to, I want it to be true. So therefore it is. And I'm just going with that because it makes me happier. You have to do what you love in life. And what I love doing is saying that Tim Walz is a communist and that he's guilty. And he wanted to have Amy Klobuchar assassinated so that he could run in her place. That's what I want to. That's what makes me happy to believe. That's my joy. All right, let's see. What are you guys saying in the chat? I'm just a communist. I don't like spicy food. Black pepper. Mayonnaise. Ugh. So gross. I can't look at that face anymore. I'm sorry. We got to find something else. What else we got in here? Have we got anything new? We've got this, I guess this is like a barbershop or something. And where you get your hair cut. I thought this was interesting. I thought this was an interesting business model. All right. Let's see. Raul Havana, how you doing? He says, while Trump was working at McDonald's, Kamala was doing Five Guys. I may have heard that one before, but it's still funny. Still funny. Let's see. Nevada says, nothing better than a Winston and ice cream. Rosie says, Winston, that's what my dad's like. My dad was a matinee king, man. Let's see. Rosie says, Tim Walz is definitely a deputy dog. Not even a sheriff dog. Just sad. It's very sad. Rogue Thought, good to see ya. Let's see. Nevada says, quit showing me this commie pussy. He's awful. I have to do it. To honor our ancestors. To honor them. Let's see. Nevada makes a great point here. He says, stinking commies. Stinking commies indeed.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Commie gobbledygook indeed. Indeed. What are we at now? Like 40 minutes? All right. Izzy says, I love spicy food and I'm copper tone 45 white. Yeah, it shows you the modern leftists, so Democrat Party, Liberal Party in Canada, Labor or whatever, they just they actually live in a world of stereotypes. Right? Because what used to be liberal is now radical progressive, illiberal, radical progressive authoritarianism, and it's all just identity. So if your whole view of the world is just based on identity, not on character, right? It's just all on identity. You know everything you need to know about somebody just by looking at them. Well, you're going to live in a world of stereotypes. And I guess for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and, the producer of that and everybody around them, they didn't see why that would be so gross and offensive. Because they live in a world of stereotypes, and that's the stereotype, right? White people at tacos would just be tuna and mayonnaise. That just is totally normal to them because they live in this world of stereotypes. You can look at somebody, you know everything you need to know about them from looking at them. They get all their value, not from their talent, from courage, accomplishment, any of that, but just simply identity. Which is why they get everything so wrong, because people just aren't like that. Rogue Thought says, I culturally appropriated some spicy chicken teriyaki yesterday. Culturally appropriating that. Good Lord. Good Lord. It's tuna and mayonnaise tacos for you. Let's see. Nevada makes another great point. This is another great point here from Nevada. Dirty, filthy, stinking commie. All right. Plunderworld says mini scrota. Mini scrota. Very nice. Very nice. Nevada says we're going to get Greenland, but I still wish to trade California and Minnesota for Alberta. Deal. But I got to move to Alberta first. So wait until I move to Alberta. Let's see. All right, let me skip down a little bit. Nevada says she should wear a bikini. I don't know. I like this a little bit to the imagination, you know? Rosie makes a great point. You can tell she is not a Southern lady. No petticoat. No petticoat. Let's see. Rogue Thought says progressively heading towards starvation, gulags, and ditches filled with bodies. That's progressivism. That's where it actually leads. All right. I'm not reading that, Nevada. I'm not reading that. You think I'm going to read that? Is he going to get some manscaping too? I'm not reading that. Not reading that. Come on. Get your mind out of the gutter. All right. What do we got next? Mark Carney. From Moose on the Loose. He's got a really good channel, actually. And if you're interested in the Canadian politics, follow Moose on the Loose. I don't know if he's on Rumble, but he's on YouTube and on X, obviously. All right. Only Mark Carney is dumb enough to try to take jabs at a Canadian military vet without knowing who he is going up against. So let's take a look here. Mark Carney is such a schmuck, by the way. He's just such a schmuck. It's getting hard to watch him. It's like to listen to him speak and look at his face. Like, you know, with Justin Trudeau, how difficult it was just the sound of his voice was so irritating. It was really difficult to get through like 5 or 10 seconds of him talking, or just to look at his face. Mark Carney's getting there too. Let's take a look at this. Hold on.
Next,
let's find
conflicts
out.
of interest.
Here we go.
That's a bear trap. You can't force this on the citizens when you don't even have the ability to charge the cars. And we shouldn't be forcing this.
Okay, he's talking about the EV mandate in Canada. So if you're not aware, by 2035, they want to make it illegal to sell. By 2035, they want to ban the sale of new gas-powered cars in Canada. So internal combustion engine cars in Canada. They want it so they want to ban you from being able to buy an internal combustion engine car in Canada by 2035. They've got these goals set starting next year at 20%. Right now, it's like 6%, and it's going down. But they're trying to force this upon Canadians. They're trying to force it on Canadians. Canada's big and cold. I've made videos about why EVs are not well suited to the Canadian climate. You can watch those. Subscribe to the channel. You'll be able to find those. I think I just made one this in the last week. -7 Celsius. They start losing -7 to -15. They lose 40% of their range. Right. Well, -7 in Alberta is like that's like a balmy, nice winter day, right? Gets like -30, -35 sometimes. Canada's cold in the winter. right? There is not the infrastructure. There's not going to be the infrastructure for charging these things. You're going to end up waiting for hours to be able to charge car. The country will fall apart. They don't work. The cold damages the batteries. It's just a disaster, a nightmare waiting to happen. It's actually impossibly stupid. It's almost impossibly stupid, but they're dead set on doing this. Anyways, continue.
On the citizens because that's draconian. The people should choose. Next up, jumping over to the House, Mark Carney sets a bear trap for himself. Apparently, he doesn't know Michael Barrett's history.
Last night, we learned that the Prime Minister has an entire department of bureaucrats trying to manage his conflicts of interest, but they can't even tell us if the Prime Minister has set up a conflict of interest screen. And so that means that the former chairman of a multi-billion-dollar investment firm is sitting at the cabinet table and could be taking decisions that personally improve his financial standing. He's been prime minister for 100 days, but he's still jumping through these ethical loopholes. So why won't the prime minister stop hiding the truth from Canadians and come clean? What are your conflicts of interest?
Michael Barrett dropping the hammer here. This came out yesterday in committee. Conservative Shannon Stubbs posting this clip. The Liberals have admitted that Mark Carney has conflicts of interest. We knew this already, but they're finally admitting it. They slip it out here in committee.
So just, is it safe to say that neither of the three ministers here are responsible for the bill, and no accusation towards you in general, but neither of you are aware of or have seen or know about a concrete ethical screen in place for the prime minister?
Okay, hold on. I want to find, where's the part that I'm looking for? This Moose on the Loose, he does a really great job. He's actually got this huge chart with all of the connections with Brookfield, Mark Carney, all of these kind of green boondoggle companies, banks. It's quite impressive what he's accomplished. But I want to show you something. Where is it? Okay, here, I think. Oh, hold on. Where is it? Is it not in here? Where the heck is it? Okay, I can't find it in here. Oh, well, I guess I blew that one. Hold on, I'll find it. Hold on. Let me find it. Okay. You guys are used to this. I do want to show you this because it shows you that Carney is not half as clever as he thinks he is. Okay. 1 second. Okay. So basically here, Michael Barrett, conservative, is grilling Mark Carney about conflicts of interest. And then Mark Carney he basically just got back to Canada before he became the prime minister. He spent very little of his adult life actually in Canada. He doesn't know Canada. He doesn't know the players politically in Canada. And so you end up with stuff like this. Let's take a look.
Last night, we learned that the Prime Minister has an entire department of bureaucrats trying to manage his conflicts of interest, but they can't even tell us if the Prime Minister has set up a conflict of interest screen. And so that means that the former chairman of a multi-billion-dollar investment firm is sitting at the cabinet table and could be taking decisions that personally improve his financial standing. He's been prime minister for 100 days, but he's still jumping through these ethical loopholes. So why won't the prime minister stop hiding the truth from Canadians and come clean? What are your conflicts of interest?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Unlike member opposite, I'm proud of having experience in the private sector. I'm proud of having experience helping to build this country. I'm proud of having filed all my requirements in advance before required, including a screen for the conflict of interest.
Well, unlike the Right Honourable Prime Minister, I'm proud to have served our country in the Canadian Armed Forces in uniform.
Maybe you should do some friggin' homework. Do some homework.
This Prime Minister seems to do whatever he thinks he can get away with. He voted for the Liberals' ban on gas-powered cars, while Brookfield is heavily invested in the EV supply chain. We know that he used offshore tax havens in the Caribbean to avoid paying Canadian taxes. His own department won't even say if he set up conflicts of interest screens. So instead of maligning people,
So okay, he doesn't know he doesn't know anything about Canada. He doesn't know any of the players involved still. I mean, again, he just got back to Canada. I mean, he basically came back to Canada and became prime minister. He just parachuted in. The CBC decided, this is a guy who'll keep our funding flowing, because Pierre Poilievre obviously had said he wanted to defund the CBC. So they decided, as well as the rest of the legacy media, Mark Carney was the guy. He was rammed down Canadians' throats. Canada has Canada has to have one of the least informed and most gullible electorates in the world, and there's reasons for that I won't get into right now. But he was just parachuted in. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't even understand Canada. Like, he said during the leadership campaign for the Liberals, he said that he said that the United States gets almost all of their semiconductors from Canada, and a tough guy like him, maybe they'd just stop and then they'd see what kind of guy they were dealing with. Great, except one big problem. The United States gets almost no semiconductors from Canada. For an economist, for the celebrated Oxford economist, this is just a bafflingly idiotic thing to say. I mean, you could just stop a typical person on the street and ask them, do you think the States gets all their computer chips from Canada? And say, no, I don't think so. That doesn't make any sense. Bafflingly stupid. Mark Carney doesn't know anything. He's just another face to lead the Liberal Party and continue on with what Trudeau was doing, but on overdrive with the globalist agenda. But this is a good example of how, he's not half as smart as he thinks he is, as well as looking a lot like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. All right. Do we have anything else here? Yeah, Carney announces billions in funding for Ukraine at G7 meeting. We covered this last time, but you know what? At least he's a little bit taller than Zelensky. Zelensky is what? I think he's 4'9", I believe. I think he's 4'9". Carney is slightly taller, although, I mean, if he didn't stoop like Mr. Burns so much, maybe he'd be like 5'4" or something like that. I don't know. What do I know? I know nothing. I don't know nothing. All right, let's just move along, shall we? We're 55 minutes into this, for goodness sakes. Scott Walker, we prohibit minors from getting tattoos on their own in all 50 states because they are not of age to consent to physically change their bodies. The same should be true here. So here is Cory Booker. Here's Cory. So he is just, when I say that the modern left, and this is whether you're in the United States, Canada, anywhere in the Anglosphere, and it looks like through most of Europe as well, if you're in a left-wing party, you are now a radical, I would say a left-wing extremist at this point. So the Democrats in the States are left-wing, far-left extremists. The Liberal Party in Canada is an illiberal, far-left extremist party. Labour in the UK, the same. And this is why. I mean, I'm going to prove it to you right now. Here's Senator Cory Booker, Democrat. Today, the Supreme Court chose to cast transgender children in the shadows, deciding they are not entitled to the protections of the Equal Protection Clause. By upholding Tennessee's ban on medical care for transgender children, the court has legitimized discriminatory treatment of children. So this is an insane paragraph. With this stuff, with this so-called, the euphemistically named gender-affirming care, sometimes you just have to stop because it's been so normalized. Sometimes you just have to stop and just kind of clear your mind for a second and just let the words float across your consciousness. Sex changes for children. Like, it is crazy. It will always be crazy. It is medical experiments. It's fucking nuts. Today, the Supreme Court chose to cast transgender children. Well, here's the first thing. Transgender doesn't actually exist. All right? And you don't know that these children are what you would even consider to be transgender in the first place. Okay? They cannot give informed consent. They're too young. They don't even understand the concepts. All right? WPATH, the World Professional Association for Transgender Health, which is a pseudoscientific organization which somehow became the authority to which the other authorities appeal, such as the Endocrine Society and the AMA. In the leaked, and you can watch my video on this, in the leaked Zoom messages and emails from this group, because there was thousands of files leaked, they themselves admit that their patients don't understand what's being done to them, and they cannot give informed consent. And he should know that. This is a grown man. He should understand this, all right? But it all just sounds, I mean, for a smooth enough brain, this all just sounds like totally reasonable. This is all framed as just being totally rational. So first off, this whole first sentence is just a ridiculous lie. Entitled to the protection. Really, protections? Maybe they're entitled to be protected from medical experiments. Medical experiments, because let's see, Sweden has decided that this stuff is medical experiments. The UK has decided this stuff is medical experiments. By upholding Tennessee's ban on medical care for transgender children, so mutilating and sterilizing and permanently medicalizing children is medical care to Senator Cory Booker. This is crazy. Legitimized discriminatory treatment of children. Do you know what's a lot less harmful? What would be a lot less harmful for these kids? Buy them a pack of smokes and a bottle of whiskey. Okay, they'll have one really bad night instead of a really bad life. More than 24 states ban access to medical care. Do you mean medical experiments for children? This is a violation of the constitutional protections every child is entitled to. This is insane. These are the words of a lunatic, okay? He calls this a heartless decision that puts trans children in danger. Far left extremism. Okay, this is just projection. Okay, clearly people like Senator Cory Booker are putting children in danger. Reality is the exact opposite of everything in this. But in this bizarre world that we live in this surreal world we live in, this is a major politician. People know his name. People know who he is. And he can type out this gibberish, this total fantasy world. This very, very dark nightmare world. And it's all just normal. That's normal now. Far left extremism is normal now. Scott Walker said, "We prohibit minors from getting tattoos on their own in all 50 states because they are not of the age to consent to physically change their bodies. The same should be true here." That's just sanity, right? No, 12-year-olds can't get their driver's licenses. No, 12-year-olds can't buy cigarettes. Here is sanity. Here is, I don't know, does he really believe the words? Because if he doesn't, if this is just all cynical political expedience, then he's truly evil. If that's the case, you are truly evil at that point, right? If not, you're just an idiot. You're just a complete fool. Anyway, there's my rant on that. But it's just, you know what? The thing is, though, I've talked about this a million times on this channel, but it never gets any less horrific or weird or frightening that this is real. Like, there are adults, there are professionals, there are so-called experts who literally want to do medical experiments on children because of a redefinition of the word gender into this infinite series of abstractions that is all completely untethered to reality. I mean, whether it's because you're afraid of being called a name or you're greedy, whatever, it's just bizarre that we've gotten to a place where, the Democrats aren't your fathers or your grandfather's Democrat Party anymore. The liberals in Canada are not your fathers, they're not your grandfather's Liberal Party. Okay. They are far left extremist parties now. This is far left extremism. This is insane. And this is real. This is real. I mean, I'm saying it to try and convince myself that I'm not in an alternate reality, that I'm not asleep I'm not having some sort of nightmare right now. How can it be? Right? How can it be? Anyway, I just think it's nuts. I don't know. On that thought, I mean, I don't know. When I get on these rants, I just start to kind of lose a bit of energy, I guess. I guess that's the word, energy. I mean, I'm having some coffee right now, but I mean, it really takes it out of me. And I don't know. I mean, is there a way that I could get some more energy just to power me through the rest of the stream? I mean, I don't know. Do you guys know of any kind of energy that I might be able to get somehow? Just some quick energy. Have you guys got any idea? I mean, what would Nevada's saying? I need some energy. He's saying he needs some energy too. Rosie says mute. I don't know. I mean, I'm drinking this coffee right now, and it's not really doing it for me. If only there was some way I could get some.
They, them, energy. They, them, energy. They, them, energy. They, them, energy.
And teapot. Oh, man, now I feel it. Now I'm better. Now I feel better. I got me some of that they, them energy, folks. I'm feeling good. Kind of weird. I'm actually feeling a little bit weird too, but I've got some energy. Also feeling weird as well. Let's see. What are you guys saying? Let's see what's going on here. Rosie says, when does he share his investments? I thought he was supposed to have shared them already by now, but it's just not happening. Probably never. Rosie says, I keep reading scary stuff about Jugmeat and his background, Jugmeat Singh. Well, he's not allowed in India because of terrorism. I mean, this is Canada, right? I mean, the minister, the justice minister, Ananda Sangari, who's responsible for the terrorism file, has to recuse himself from terrorism files because of, guess what, association with a banned terrorist group in Canada. This is Canada. This is the state of Canada. This is what happens when you vote radical leftists in for a decade and more. Radio streamer, good to see you. Hey, everybody. Boy, am I tired working all day. Sounds like somebody needs some energy. Hope all is well and energetic. I hope Radio Baloney has enough energy to get through the night. great stuff. Great stuff. Beautiful. Well, you just got your energy, my friend. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let me scan down a little bit. Rosie says the court has legitimized discriminatory treatment of all who still read Goodnight Moon or have it read to them. Yes. I mean, it is literally insane what these people are saying. Again, if they actually understand what they're doing, they're evil, like just straight up as evil as it gets, or they're idiots. And I don't, you could say, well, just cowards. But if you're that much of a coward, you're just evil at that point. All right. I'm just going to skip to the end here quick. Rogue Thought says, voting in terrorists, saluting Nazis, and having a commie government. Oh, Canada. Yep. Oh, Canada, indeed. It's not going well. It's not going well at all. Let's see. So what's going on here? Canadians would be screwed if it was the other way around. And when I see experts say, the word expert, it sure don't mean what it used to these days, does it? I don't want those people anywhere near pension plan decisions. So from the CBC, nearly half of national public pension plan is invested in the U.S. and only 12% in Canada. Elbows up. Experts say public debate is needed over where CPP assets are invested. This is one of the reasons why I said that the elbows up idiocy was just, well, it's why I said elbows up was idiotic, right? Because it was a lowest common denominator appeal to an uninformed and gullible public, right? So these same people who were telling us 5 minutes before that there's an ongoing genocide in Canada, and Canada's an infinite genocide state, and everybody's racist, and blah, 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 and Canada's a post-national country, not even really a country with no core identity. We might as well just be whatever some guy who shows up 5 minutes from now is. We'll just be that because we're a post-national, not really even a country, and we have no identity, and oh, by the way, infinite genocide. Now, elbows up. Orange man bad. Elbows up. Now we're proud of Canada. Now we're going to protect our sovereignty. Canada's a proud nation with a proud people and a proud history. But you like 10 minutes ago, you were in the genocide and all of that, not really a country. No, everybody elbows up, elbows up. It was really disgusting to watch it, actually, the fake patriotism and just the gullibility of these fools to be tricked, I mean, I want to say tricked. It wasn't even really tricked. They just, they just wanted to vote liberal. They just wanted an excuse to. And so that lowest common denominator crap just worked. And that's why we end up with Mark Carney, a fourth liberal term. But part of the reason why that was also idiotic and why those people were so idiotic to fall for it was because we're so tied in with the United States. I mean, culturally in every single way, right? Like an American can live in Canada and it's really just like being in the States and some part of the States, and a Canadian can move down to the United States, and it's just like being in Canada, really. Like you're not going to, you can understand what everybody's saying, right? You're going to fit in just fine. We are so tied in every way. It's the largest economy in the world. We're incredibly fortunate to be on the border of it. Obviously, it's going to continue to be our largest trading partner. Like, let's just take a stoic attitude. All right. Not freak out, not play it out in public like Mark Carney was doing. He was, by the way, obviously lying at this point, as we've seen his kind of pathetic groveling behavior, especially at the G7. But all the, Carney knew at that point, we're not going to just totally divest of all of our business in the States, right? Like, okay, half of the national public pension plan is invested in the U.S. Are you sure, boomers, liberal boomers? Are you sure you want like the United States to fail now? Because your retirement kind of depends on them doing fairly well, right? Oh, you didn't know that. You didn't think about that. Just that I'm still pretty bitter. You might have noticed. You might have noticed I'm still fairly bitter about this whole election thing. I'm just so disappointed. Just so disappointed. It's very disturbing, right? The pattern has been broken in Canada of, when a government really just is bad. I mean, no government has been as bad as the Trudeau government, since his father. But even if, it just that kind of give and take. So, the conservatives have it for a while. People want a bit of a change. They go to the other way. People feel like it's gone too far left. They go back to Harper. Then they go back to the liberals again. Of course, nobody had any idea that Justin Trudeau was just a whole different animal and a far more retarded one than we had seen in decades, or probably ever. But that kind of regular pattern, that kind of give and take, the right has it for a while, the left, that's been kind of broken now. I mean, it was just so obvious that the liberals needed to leave. And it's even more obvious now that they've won a fourth term. That's been broken. That's what frightens me, right? It frightens me that maybe just that drip, 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 drip of framing by the mainstream media in Canada, every year, every month, every week, every day, every hour, every minute, every second. Maybe it's turned us into San Francisco or like New York City, which is about to, elect a communist Islamicist or Islamic communist or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hoping we haven't turned into that there still is a way back from this. Anyway, I'm getting increasingly cynical, but I'm going to try not to be. So this is interesting here. Libs of TikTok, breaking. Border Patrol agents shut down massive 3,000-foot drug smuggling tunnel between Tijuana, Mexico, and San Diego, equipped with lighting, ventilation systems, and tracks to move narcotics. We've been hearing a lot about these bunker-busting bombs lately, haven't we? So I'm just saying, the agents discovered the tunnel in early April while it was actively under construction. The tunnel had a projected exit point near or inside a commercial warehouse space in San Diego. I would imagine they would be working harder on these things, trying to create more of them since Trump has really cracked down on the border and secured it to a level it hasn't been in decades. But yeah, they're going to do this, of course. They're not going to stop trying. Bunker busters. That's what I say. Let's see. 15,000 plus people got assisted suicide. So in Canada, it's called MAID, Medical Assistance in Dying. This is in Canada. So it's now I believe the fourth biggest cause of death in Canada is government killing Canadians. Many were vaccine-injured people who lost hope. Instead of helping them heal, the system offered them death. Yes, like the veteran who wanted a stair system, a chairlift system for the stairs in their house, and instead was offered a death. They said, best we can do is kill you. And she said, no, I don't want to die. I just want a damn stair lift.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And they'll do it if you're just depressed.
Right.
They'll do it if you don't like being overweight. They'll do it if you whatever.
It's awful. It's awful.
I mean, they're just...
It's a lot of the vaccine injured are doing that. They're going to Switzerland or going to Canada to have this.
The Canada numbers are bananas. Like, see, like, this can't be true. This can't be true. And here it is. More than 15,000 people received medical assistance in dying in Canada in 2023.
Yes.
What is it in 2024 now? This is an old story. So imagine 2025, this is crazy. 15,000 people, they've helped them die instead of like help them live. Instead of like, we used to call suicide hotline. Hey, don't do it, Bob. You know, and now Canada's like, come on in.
Press 1 if you want the suicide.
I'll
and
make
2
an
if you-
appointment for you, eh? Come on in, eh?
Well, the thing is that they added depression to it. Depression. If you're like a depressed 17-year-old or 18-year-old, like they've added that to like just depression. So if you're a drug addict, you can get made. You can go to rehab. Well, you can't actually in Canada, you can't really go to rehab, but they will offer to kill you. You can get that. If you can't get medical treatment because of, in fact, there was a woman a year or two ago who, because of Canada's failing healthcare system, decided it's just easier just to get the medical assistance and dying. Right? They were offering it to soldiers who were looking for counseling for PTSD. Best we can do, kill you. Like, it really is, like, this is progressivism, right? When I say these are far left extremist governments, like in Canada, when I talk about the Democrats, this is what I'm talking about. It's just everything is to the extreme, right? Everything is to the extreme. In Canada, there is no restrictions on abortion right up until birth. If you can find a doctor to do it, 5 minutes before birth. In the UK, they've just passed a law to do the same. Where in Europe, it's the general standard is 12 weeks. It's just everything to the max. Sex changes for children. In Canada, I mean, I've played video for you guys of Justin Trudeau talking, just explaining as if this is totally normal and reasonable that in Canada, you don't have the right to use a firearm to defend yourself or your family. Everything to the max. By 2035, a car dealership can only sell you a zero-emission vehicle, not even a hybrid. It's got to be a purely electric vehicle. Everything to the max. These things are all far-left extremism. And we need to start calling that. We need to start saying that all the time because these things genuinely are. In the United States, open borders, not even open borders under Biden. He was encouraging people to cross. He was flying people in. They had an app so people could apply and be flown in to the United States. That's far left extremism, not normal. None of this stuff is moderate. None of this stuff is, left leaning, liberal leaning. It's not that. No, this is far left. This is stuff that would have made, liberals from 20 years ago, your old burnout art teacher from, grade 10 would have made his head explode. This stuff is far left extremism. We've heard so much about the far right, blah, 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 blah. The far right, the far right who wants things like free speech or smaller government or just to preserve their individual rights. It needs to become popular to be describing this stuff as far left extremism because it's not normal. Letting 20 million people into your country illegally is not normal. That's not, left leaning. That's far left extremism. It is. How is that not? There is nothing normal or moderate about that whatsoever. It's crazy. And Canada, again, is the poster boy for crazy in the world now. Canada's become a cautionary tale for the rest of the world. All right. What do we got next? Let's get to the chat for a second. We're an hour and 20 minutes in. All right, crazy. Rogue Thought says UK Parliament just posts abortion at any time. Yes, exactly. So it's now like Canada. But Canada has been like that since the 70s. And most Canadians don't know that, by the way. Rogue Thought says, I'm with you, Baloney. I can't believe more than a handful of insane people could believe any of this horror. Well, it just becomes normalized and they don't think about it, and there's no profit in it for them to think about it, right? It could only cause problem. They know that this is the norm. In their world, in their circle, in their bubble, this is the norm. They know that this is the norm for the teleprompter readers. They know this is the norm for their politicians, right? So they think this is moderate centrist stuff that like, oh, well, everybody kind of agrees and some people don't, but a lot of people do. But nobody really knows about it. Nobody really looks into any of it. They just hear gender affirming care, and that's as far as it goes, for instance. Let's see. Let's see. Radio Streamer says, I'm glad getting rid of this child abuse. Rosie says, me too. Yay, Tennessee. Yeah. Well, federally, they've already gotten rid of it, but it's still legal is the thing. It's still legal in the United States. And even after the Cass review, and then it was banned, puberty blockers, for instance, were banned from the public health in the UK. It's still legal to do it there. You can't do it that way. Let's see. Rosie says, how can the experiments on children be called out when murdering preborn is sold as healthcare? Yeah, it's just the maximum level of horror is what they're for. Nevada's saying that he needs some energy. We've already done the energy twice. I can't do that to Rosie again. In fact, I forgot to do the chocolate for Rosie after the them energy clip. We're going to have to go back. All right. What's going on here? Whoa. That's looking good. It's making like a tree trunk of chocolate. Fantastic stuff. That looks like the that delicious British chocolate, the flake bars. Kind of like that. All right, that's looking good. Gotta have some of that. All right, anyway, let's go back to here. Let's see. Rosie was like waiting on chocolate. Yeah, we got it. We gotcha. Let's see. Okay, let's just continue on. But there's a lot of chat here. I'll just do the end here. Let's see. Nevada's telling people to buy a cannon. Very good. Great advice. Rosie says, nice chocolate save. Yeah, there we go. Turtles, how you doing? Turtle says, I like dropping into volcanoes. Very nice. Very nice indeed. All right. Let's get back to this here. So this is the last bookmark of the night. I told you guys it was going to be a short one tonight because I've got this road trip tomorrow and I still got lots to do. So this is interesting. Let's take a look.
Do you know that you can easily remove a cork without a corkscrew? All you need is a hair straightener. Set the hair straightener to a high temperature and rotate it evenly on the neck of the bottle so that the air inside will expand and remove the cork. But keep in mind that do not keep the hair straightener on the neck of the bottle for a long time. Otherwise, the risk of glass breaking and cracking may increase. Do you know that you can easily...
There you go. Now you learned something. You learned something new. By the way, if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel right now. One thing is that the best way you can help out my channel if you wish to, is to become like a member of the channel, which I think it's $5 a month, or buy memberships for other people. That genuinely is the best way to help out my channel. I super, super appreciate that. That's a really easy way to get into the Best Person Ever Club. So, and by the way, I mean, if you don't know, you get this, if you know, well, really anything, like any kind of helping out the channel in that way, you get this. I mean, to be the best person ever, it's quite a deal, I have to say. But also, everybody, like the stream, put likes on the stream. Super important. Big deal, big deal. Put some likes on the stream. And let's continue. All right. So I guess they're having hearings. They're having hearings on the cover-up of Joe Biden's decrepity, of his dementia. And just the Democrats just aren't even showing up. Here from Johnny Midnight posted this. No Democrats show up to defend Joe Biden's decline. But what's even the point? Everybody knows, right? Everybody knows the whole thing was just a big charade the entire time. The guy who seemed like he was really demented was actually really demented the entire time, as everybody who wasn't lying said. Because it was so obvious. It was obvious before he was president. It was obvious when he was running the basement campaign. Let's take a look.
Not a single Democrat is here today because not a single one of them gives a damn about the fact that they lied to the American people for 4 years. They knew. Every one of them knew that Joe Biden was mentally not competent to do the job. The White House press secretary, she knew when she stood in front of the American people and lied over and over and over again, and they're not here because they can't defend themselves. It wasn't a surprise. For 4 years, the White House hid President Biden from Republican senators, would not let him meet with us. He served 40 years in this body. We all know him. And they deliberately lied. And by the way, Jake Tapper had a bombshell book exposing the incredible scandal that Biden's mental decline was covered up by Jake Tapper. There's a Yiddish word, chutzpah. And that truly is chutzpah. How dare we lie and cover up what we all knew?
So, you know, Cruz he's a mixed bag, I will say, but when he gets on a roll, he's very good. He's very good. He's very effective. And but the reason that the Democrats aren't there is because they know it doesn't matter anymore. Not to them, not to their voters. It doesn't matter anymore. Right? That's done now. It's time to move on to something else, to a whole new suite of new lies. Right? And Jake Tapper, the purpose of Jake Tapper's book was to wash away the sins of the media, right? For the media to be able to forgive themselves. Not really, because they all knew they were lying, but it was just a public relations stunt, essentially. I mean, amazing coming from Jake Tapper. I mean, absolutely amazing. I mean, yeah, you really can't believe you'd have to have no soul to be Jake Tapper with his, you know, passionate defenses of Joe Biden and his brain, and then write a book about the cover-up as if he just had no idea. I mean, either they were in on it or they're all terrible at their jobs and nobody should listen to them about anything. I mean, if they're all actually really sincere that they didn't know and they had no idea, I mean, that is appalling. Why should anybody listen to anything they say? They are completely incompetent. Of course, that's not the case. It turns out that they're just liars, shameless, soulless liars. And that's just a different reason that nobody should ever listen to what they say. But the reason they're not there is because it doesn't matter anymore. As I say, Jake Tapper put out his PR stunt for the media, wash away their sins, right? And that's it. Just move on. Doesn't matter anymore. You know, because the lying doesn't matter. The narrative control doesn't matter. It just moves on to the next thing. And those credulous enough, those still credulous enough, and it's millions and millions of people, it won't matter to them either. They're just ready for the next set of lies. Anyway, let's move on.
A single Democrat.
That's the story behind the story. Jim Acosta is nothing but scum. From Johnny Midnight, Jim Acosta mocks Trump's deceased ex-wife in an anti-ICE No King's Day rant as Jen Rubin laughs. He started up a YouTube channel now, Jim Acosta, after he got fired from CNN. And he's really weird, actually. He's trying to present himself as almost some sort of like new age, like leftist preacher or something. It's very, you can see his ego is really, really now been set free. His dark soul is running free on the internet now that he's unconstrained by any narrative concerns connected to CNN. Let's take a look at this.
Where are the ICE raids at the Trump properties?
Yes.
Can somebody call ICE on the Trump golf course in Virginia?
Yes.
You're telling me there's nobody in there that is undocumented or has some kind of squirreliness going on with their paperwork? Give me a break. Hey, how many immigrants has he married? He's got one buried at his golf course in New Jersey. Isn't she buried by the first hole or the second tee or something like that?
The first hole, it's the first hole.
Immigrants always doing the jobs that Americans don't want to do. Isn't that what where are the ICE raids at the Trump property?
See, that's actually kind of a good joke. The thing is that he's not supposed to be able to tell it. And these people aren't supposed to be able to laugh. They're supposed to be actually very offended by that because the word immigrant was in it. Right? And that's the rules on the left. Except it's not really, it's only rules when it benefits them in some way. But anyway, I would if you're up for a good cringe, watch the Jim Acosta channel. Otherwise, avoid it like the plague. So what does this say? Free America. Trump did all of this. Only in America could a president achieve the lowest ever black unemployment, have black business startups skyrocket over 400%, see wages go up for black workers, sign prison reform, pardon wrongfully convicted people of color, and still be a racist. That's actually from his first term. But it's all fake is why. I mean, that's the thing. Like the narrative, it's just narrative. That's it. Reality doesn't matter. So somebody sent me this. Now, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. But since one of you guys sent it, I thought I would play it. Let's take a look.
Canadian Cancer Society recently published that 15,000 IU of vitamin D, that's 50 cents, can terminate 65% of all women's breast cancer. Now, how significant is that? Well, the drug industry looks and said, you can't terminate breast cancer for 50 cents. Sure. We're in it for $1 million per patient. And so the FDA, the FTC, and the AMA all get together and try to suppress this information. And that's why I call it a conspiracy. I mean, this is such big business, they can't afford to let you know that 50 cents worth of vitamin D could cure you. Canadian Cancer Society.
Rosie says there's a Jim Acosta channel. Now I may understand MAID. That's a good one, Rosie. That's a good one. But yeah, I don't know. I take vitamin D. I'm taking some on this trip with me too, because I take more when I'm on a trip, just because I don't want to get sick on a trip. So I don't know. Not medical advice from me. But I mean, vitamin D is good though, right? Anyway, it's just good anyway. Concerned citizens still waiting for a valid explanation on walking trees. So what the heck is going on here? What the heck? Oh. Well, I'm not a botanist, but I think the only explanation is that trees can now move, and probably we're going to have to fight a war with them, which is fine. I've been meaning to do that for a long time anyway. I've been waiting for it and hoping. I don't think they stand a chance. Let's see. Don't believe. Okay, we already saw that. What else did we have? So here's like a eagle lady. Real sizes of animals, a threat. Okay, the size of a golden eagle. Look at that. That's a big eagle. Now, I was going to put her in our no cooking section for shows that we watch for palate cleansers, but you can't really see her tits. So, no. But anyway, that's a big eagle. Let's see. If her boobs touch the wall and her nose doesn't, hire her. Hire her. Let's see. Trump-Zelensky parody. What's this all about? Let's take a look.
How the Trump-Zelensky meeting should have gone.
Mr. Reagan.
That was yours. We thought that baggie belonged to Hunter. You know, I think the Secret Service probably still has it somewhere.
I have been stealing the money.
I'm sorry, what's that now?
I must to speak honestly. I steal many of USA dollars to Ukraine. Millions. Some dollars for some oligarchs also, some for American bureaucrats.
Now, just to be clear here, this is not real, right? This is not real. This is AI. Let's take a look.
Also.
Well, we know that, but why are you telling me this?
Because, Mr. Trump, if you end war, we cannot steal any more money. We must continue war.
No, the war must end. Your people are dying, Zelensky. They're dying.
But I want to steal more money. What do you want? Fellatio, I can do it.
No, I don't want fellatio. No.
Are you sure? I did for Biden.
Okay, that is what we call oversharing. Look, there's nothing you have that I want. You're not going to convince me to keep this war going. You don't have the cards.
I not play cards.
No, I know you're not literally playing cards. It's a metaphor. It's like I'm playing 4D chess and you're playing checkers.
No, I not play checkers. There is no checkerboard, you see.
Okay, let's try this. I am in the driver's seat, okay? Do you understand that expression?
No, but we are not in car.
No, you're right. You're right. We're not in a car. That's true.
Listen, Mr. Trump, I am actor/comedian. I crave attention. Since start of war, I get worshipped by presidents.
You know, the thing about this is that it is a genuinely horrific war. It's got this new dimension added to it, which is the drone war, which is really, really horrific. Like, it just added this new dimension of horror to it, where you're just never safe at any time. And as for Zelensky himself, I mean, you know, the sources that I tend to rely on, like a Daniel Davis or Douglas McGregor, you know, ex-officers with the U.S. Army, you know, they seem to feel that they've seen, you know, that there's a lot of evidence that he's quite corrupt. Zelensky is quite corrupt. And when it's all over, he's going to flee somewhere with a lot of money. Whether that's absolutely true, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, Carney has just announced, you know, billions more of borrowed money from Canada to go to continuing that war. And to me, from what I've seen, you know, and I do follow it, from what I'm seeing, the war is lost. It's just a matter of when at this point. So it's either a very bad negotiated settlement for Ukraine, or it's terms of surrender a bit later. And it could be in a month, it could be in 6 months, it could be in a year, or a couple of years even, but that's going to happen. In the attritional war, Russia has the upper hand, and quite an upper hand. An upper hand by a lot. So I'm not comfortable with my money going to Ukraine, so Carney giving the money so that, you know, they can fight to the last, so that NATO can fight to the last Ukrainian. Not comfortable with it. Let's see. Oreo cake. Look at that. That's crazy. So this is an ad that the Democrats are now showing. Let's take a look. They're just crazy.
I had a really good time today.
Yeah, me too. I really like.
What are you doing? She's coming with us. What are you talking about? Who are you? I'm your Republican congressman. Now that we're in charge, we're rounding up illegals. She was born here. She's a citizen. I don't care. She looks like one of them. But don't worry. When she's in prison in El Salvador, she'll have lots of company.
So there was just a kind of an offhand statement from Trump. He was talking to Bukele from El Salvador and talking about like the worst, very worst criminals in the United States, like serial killers, that sort of thing, sending them to those supermax El Salvadorian prisons, right? It's not going to happen. It's unconstitutional. It's not going to happen. It was an offhand statement from Trump, the kind that he makes all the time. It's not going to happen. There is no point in putting out this kind of, frankly, insane fear-mongering. But what do you expect? I mean, when I say they are extreme left-wing, like this is what I'm talking, they just don't care at this point. It's just about power, nothing else. All right. Already saw that one. We saw this guy. Looks like everything gets mixed up in these bookmarks sometimes. All right, I've got something else for you guys I wanted you to see. Where is it? What are we? An hour and 43 in. There she is, Eagle Lady. There's that crazy thing. So we've seen this before, but let's just do it one more time. When 1979 satire becomes 2025 reality, this was posted by Tommy Robinson. We've seen it before, but it just never gets old, actually. I mean, they really were. The thing about Monty Python is all of them are leftists, and they're still leftists. I think Eric Idle I saw an interview with him saying he hates conservatives. Well, the modern left hates this. The thing that's amazing, though, about this now is that so they made this in 1979, and they now support the politicians who believe this, right? So John Cleese hates Trump. He seems to be very opposed to conservatism in any way. So he's opposed to the people. Like, have they changed their mind of this? Have they all decided that actually, it actually all makes perfect sense. Loretta, yeah, that actually makes perfect sense. I really regret the whole Loretta thing. Why didn't we see how, it's just weird. I've talked a lot about just simply the political fashion that people just get so tied to a brand, and then just a word becomes so distasteful to them. And the word is conservative. It's just tied in with all these kind of presuppositions and just these kind of stereotypes of what they think that is. So the policy behind it doesn't even matter. It's just vaguely, oh, well, they don't care about people, or they're not empathetic, and I am empathetic, and I am compassionate, right? And that kind of, addiction to the kind of the fashion of politics is so powerful that you could have people who make something like this, then now still actually supporting the people who think this is real, who think he really is Loretta. No, that makes perfect sense. It's a strange thing. I mean, it's, how do you explain all of the liberal boomers in Canada? It's just political fashion. They don't care what's behind the word. They just don't like the word, right? So they got a new face with Mark Carney, the liberal boomers in Canada, and that was good enough. Okay, I've got an excuse. I don't have to vote for Trudeau now. I don't have to vote conservative now. And let's be honest, they were never going to anyway, because they're just so tied to that, to the stereotypes. Again, conservative. Well, that just CBC has always told me that that's mean or something, vaguely mean, and I don't want to be mean. It's also very unfashionable. So I think that's what explains it.
Why are you always on about?
Let's see. What else we got here? So what's going on with this? This is just a big cat. So we're just looking at this. The cat, who measures almost a meter long, belongs to Adriana from France, who rehomed Richie, that's Richie, like Richie Baloney, but it's a cat, during the early stages of the pandemic. So it's just a big cat. I wonder if it's friendly. I hope it's friendly. Well, it just seems like a nice cat. That's pretty weird. Pretty weird, but okay. I go with it. Doesn't hurt anybody. Let's see. I've already seen that. We've seen that guy. We watched him last time. He was great. Okay, so I think Spambot sent this one to me. Associations in several states have confirmed they will be using mRNA vaccines in pigs and cows this month. No one knows the impacts of doing this, but we are all potentially facing the risk of being died suddenly if we don't stop this. So I think that Community Notes has been actually pretty successful, but you can't just go off Community Notes. Like, yeah, sometimes you have to look a little bit deeper, especially when you see a bunch of sources like this. So it says the claim that mRNA vaccines are being used in pigs and cows is misleading and inaccurate. That's interesting. Okay, well, we've got some sources here. No approved mRNA vaccines for cattle, but limited non-mandatory use in swine for influenza A virus, PCV, rotavirus. So they are using them, but in a limited sense. See, I brought this up. mRNA vaccines in livestock. Let's take a look. Currently, none of the commonly used vaccines licensed by USDA for cattle utilize mRNA technology. None of the commonly used vaccines. Commonly used. That doesn't mean none. Sequivity, developed by Merck Animal Health in 2018, utilizes mRNA technology and is licensed for use for swine. This is why you can't just look at the first line here and then just go, oh, well, whatever. I guess that's not true. No, it is being used. I don't know why. Well, I think we know why. I think that probably, pharmaceutical companies probably have people they just pay to deal with Community Notes. Maybe something like that. But no, I mean that it is licensed for use for swine. That's not saying that it's widely used yet, but it is. Those who challenge the use of this technology express concern of the presence of remnants of the vaccine being found in the meat of animals administered with it. As is true with vaccines currently licensed for use in livestock, components of the vaccine are broken down by immune cells after being administered, ensuring no trace of the vaccine persists in animal tissues. Also, when mRNA vaccines are approved for use in livestock, withdrawal periods before animals can be slaughtered following the administering of the vaccine would be required, similarly to all other vaccines currently used to treat livestock. But this is what they said about people too. It won't leave the arm, but we know that the body can actually, and some people keep producing the spike protein with the human vaccines. So I asked Grok if cooking would break down any trace of it. Cooking meat would break down. It says it would. It says that it would. So it sounds like, and again, this is not medical advice, not advice to do anything, but seems like you probably be okay because when you cook the meat, it probably breaks it down. But I don't know if like the little parts that are broken down might be bad. I don't know. The point being, I guess, that look a little deeper into the community notes when you see them, because it's just because there's a community note there doesn't mean that there's absolutely no truth in what it's related to. Because at least one mRNA vaccine is licensed for use in swine and is being used in swine for pigs. So there you go. I did some research for you. Let's see. Is that it? Is that everything now? Oh, hold on a second. Things didn't work out with Olivia Juliana enticing liberal male voters, so maybe the DNC should widen their aim and go bigger. Now, you guys know what's coming, and I don't want to do this, right? I don't want to do this, but it's, like it's the internet. What am I supposed to do? I have to do what the internet demands of me. Hold on. 1 second. I don't like doing this. I find it's below me, frankly. But it's the internet. This is what the internet demands of me. So I don't have a choice. Anyway, let's just move past this. I'm uncomfortable. Let's see. Dog brought back Halas. We saw that last time. I think that may be it. Oh, hold on a second. Go woke, go broke. So what's going on here? Dunkin' Donuts CEO reveals a loss of $1 billion since going woke. We're sorry, won't try that again. Let's look this up, actually. I think I meant to find an article on this earlier, and I forgot. Dunkin' Donuts woke. Let's see. Is there anything new? So, all right. So what happened? Oh, okay. Hold on. Article not there. So what happened here? Dunkin' Donuts boycott launched by MAGA influencers. Here's what to know. This is from August 2024. So a little over a year ago. MAGA influencers have asked their followers to boycott the nationwide chain Dunkin' Donuts, which has more than 140 locations in California, because of a post on the social media site X. And we have discovered that, and they have discovered that conservative boycotts actually can be quite powerful. Ask Bud Light about it. Also, Target. The boycott started after Chris Pavlovsky, CEO of Rumble Video, posted to the social media site X on Wednesday what he claimed were emails from Inspire Brands Dunkin' Donuts. That's right. We've gone over this before. Yeah. Didn't want to advertise on Rumble because of right-wing culture. Right-wing culture. Scary. They do want right-wing money, though. He said his response was, no, we don't discriminate. All cultures are welcome on Rumble. So there you have it. And I think that there was actually, hold on 1 second. I think I saw something from this year. Now let's take a look here. So what does this say? This is January 31st of this year. Bucking the trend, why the Dunkin' Donut brands are staying apolitical. Dunkin' Donuts is basically poison. You just shouldn't eat that anyway. I mean, I'm not saying never eat a donut again, but Dunkin' Donuts is basically just poison. Despite Dunkin' brand's public stance of being apolitical, is that new? Financial contributions from the company's executives and PAC tell a more nuanced story. In the 2024 election cycle, Dunkin' executives have contributed $21,000 to Kamala Harris and $17,000 to Donald Trump. What do they want? Like Antifa to burn down all their stores and then Kamala Harris to bail them out? It's so weird. So $17,000 to Donald Trump. Oh, so Actually, they only gave a bit more to come out. So they're just playing both sides, reflecting engagement on both sides of the political spectrum. Additionally, the Duncan PAC has distributed $70,000 to Democratic House and Senate candidates and $65,000 to Republican counterparts. Well, that's fine. I think that's like what they used to do, right? Companies used to do. They just play both sides, which is smart, right? It's like a hedge. So I can't really be mad about that. I can't find anything revealing a loss of $1 billion since going woke. I don't know if it's true, if somebody made it up. There's stuff that's not true on the internet all the time. Yeah, Grok is saying it appears false. All right, whatever. Let's move on. We're almost done. I said we'd do about 2 hours. We're pretty much there. Let's see. We already saw that crazy dingbat. We already saw this. That was fun. Victor Davis Hanson, we already saw. I think that's it, people. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. We're done. It's over. Done. We're done here. All right. Let's get to the chat and let's get to the chat and we'll call it a night. So it's a short one for Friday. Normally on Fridays we do, like 3.5 hours or longer, but I'm going on a trip tomorrow. So I'm not even packed, people. I haven't even made my sandwiches to put in the cooler to take in the car with me. Let's see. What are you guys saying? Everybody like the stream right now. Get your free karma right now. Like the stream. Like the stream, everybody. Press that like. Get free karma. In these troubled times, can you afford to turn your back on that? Why would you even? Just do it. Come on, don't be crazy. I'm worried about you. Also, subscribe to the channel. Super important. Everybody should do that right now. Everybody knows that. Everybody's saying it. Let's see. Let's see. Rogue Thoughts says, good at speaking, action, not so much. Are you talking about Cruz there? Ted Cruz? Let's see. He is good. My point was, he's a mixed bag, but when he gets on he's like he's good at skewering people when he wants to. Turtle says, John Kennedy is my favorite. Yeah, he's very good. Love how he said our enemies can hate us for free. Yeah, he's always got some good quips. He must write them down. Rogue Thought says, Jake is getting eaten by his commie viewers. I'll bet he is, actually. He doesn't know what he's getting himself in for. Noada says, Acosta is a parasite. Yes, he's an awful person. Totally soulless. Rogue Thought. Well, I can't say this, Rogue Thought. I can't say that. This is a family-friendly show. I mean, you can sit there. I mean, look, in the chat, if in the chat you want to say the first hole, that's Kamala's Indian name, you can do that. I can't say it, though, online. This is a family show. Let's see. Rosie says, there's a Jim Acosta channel. Now I may understand, mate. I think that was so good we had to come back to it a second time. Rogue Thought says, please, AI, or it's the Day of the Triffids. We're talking about the walking trees there. Day of the Triffids. I am impressed, my friend. Great reference. Rosie says, Chronicles of Narnia had walking trees. Well, the Lord of the Rings had the most famous trees. The Ents. The Ents. Did Wizard of Oz have walking trees too? Probably. Let's see. Nevada asks, wonder how much Lindsey Graham has made off the war. God, who knows? I mean, he just loves every single war. Let's see. Rosie says the word is energy. Just saying. Just saying. Energy, though. What kind of energy? What kind? Are you talking about like coffee energy? Are you talking about like crystal meth energy? I don't know. Like maybe this kind of energy?
They, them, energy. They, them, energy. They, them, energy. They, them, energy.
Do you know, I think it's really teapot energy because she does the teapot at the end. Let's see. Turtles has some wonderful steaks. Going to eat them with potatoes tomorrow. Potatoes tomorrow. Let's see. Rosie says Grok is woke-ish. It definitely is woke-ish. Not entirely, but it's definitely got some woke in there. Because it learns off actually like X posts, right? So it's not surprising. There's a lot. I think it's like 51% left and 49% conservative, regardless of how the media portrays X as a sewer of right wing extreme, blah blah blah. It's that there's actually more leftists on X than conservatives. Let's see. Rogue Thought says contaminated mRNA with fragments of DNA, which most samples contain. Yeah, I mean, Grok was saying that, you cook it, it breaks all that stuff down, but how much? I mean, you can't just trust Grok on everything either, right? So Grok is a useful tool. Nevada says, do you trust Grok to tell you the truth? No. It's a useful tool, but you have to take it with a grain of salt. But the reason I asked it about cooking was because I thought, well, it kills all of the, bacteria and everything in there. I wonder if it would also break down all of that as well. That seemed plausible to me, but I don't know that to be the absolute truth just because Grok said so. Rogue Thought says Grok sources leftist propaganda. Well, I think it sources everything that's on X. But again, there's slightly more leftist propaganda. And I think leftist propaganda is just more, I think it's the left is always in total conformity. They must always totally conform on everything. So I think it comes across as probably a very strong signal to Grok, which it may be why it seems to be kind of woke-ish, because they're very disciplined, because they don't want to get struggle sessioned by any of the other leftists in their bubble. So they have a very narrow bandwidth of belief. And I don't say knowledge, I just say belief, because the whole thing is just an infinite series of abstractions. Mickey, how you doing? Good to see you. Let's see. Mickey says, I thought it was Thursday today. It's not. It's Friday. Let's see. God, that's horrible. I'm not reading that one. I just too depressing before I go on my trip. Let's see. All right, I'm going to skip to the end of the chat now so we can wrap it up. Rosie asks, should we send stuff while you're gone or hold off? You can send stuff because I might, even if I don't do a live stream, I might just decide to make a couple of shorter videos. So it'd be useful to have that as perhaps ideas if I have some spare time, because I always take the mobile studio with me. And I usually end up getting something out. Let's see. Nevada asks, I wonder how much that sucker paid for his haircut. Probably too much. Turtle says Russia should be at the G8. Yeah, that was stupid. to kick Russia out. Just dumb. I mean, hey, look, it'll probably be the G6 soon because Canada is doing so horrifically badly, and it's just going to get worse under Carney. We might get kicked out next just because we're just not a serious or wealthy country anymore. Rosie says he looks happy to pay whatever. He does. Yeah, he's having a good time. It'd be distracting. I like when I'm getting my haircut, I like to just zone out. It might be too distracting. Let's see. Rogue thought, wait, Juneteenth is a paid holiday? Good God. Where did that even come from? Like, I don't remember. Like, Juneteenth, I think the first time I ever heard of it was like last year or something, or a couple of years ago. Like, what is this Juneteenth? It's just treated like as if it's this long-held tradition or something. Isn't it just like something they just made up like a couple of years ago? All right. Well, that's it, guys. Well, I apologize for the short stream tonight. Only just over 2 hours, but I do got still lots of stuff and sandwiches and stuff to make. And before I go tomorrow, before I leave tomorrow on my trip, a long trip. And yeah, so I just we gotta shut it down. I will try. I'm telling you, I'm taking my mobile studio. I will try to do a live stream. Probably won't happen, but if you keep an eye out, I'll probably grab a couple of clips from this. I'll download this stream and take it with me and make a couple clips probably. And maybe even one tomorrow night. And I'll try to release some stuff. If there's like a big story, I might try and find, a few hours to just sit down and make just a shorter video, 5 minutes, 10 minutes or something. Not a live stream. But the next show will be, I'm back on the 30th, which is a Monday. So it will be the Tuesday after the 30th. Is that the 1st or the 31st? I don't even know anymore. I have no idea what the hell's going on. But it'll be the 30th is a Monday. So I'll be back on the Tuesday for sure, back in my home studio, and we can do a normal show. And otherwise, I want to thank everybody in the chat. As you guys know, you're half the show now. If it weren't for you guys, it would be very boring for me, and I would be talking to a cold and indifferent universe, which would be depressing. But it's not depressing because you guys are here. And you guys are basically half the show. Everybody who's not subscribed, subscribe to the channel right now. Super important. Like the stream. Do we have enough likes? I'm going to check right now. Yeah, I guess it'll do. But anyway, everybody have it's Friday, right? Friday. Everybody have a great weekend. Have a great next week. I will see you guys in about 10 days. I'm looking forward to the break, actually. I think it's going to be a really nice time. And look forward to seeing you guys next. Probably the day after the 30th, for sure. Maybe I'll sneak one in before if I have the time while I'm away. But anyway, thanks you guys, and good night.